I lived the life of a starving artist for a long time in my life.
Ramen noodles and mom's cooking.
A very long time in my life. But it's all good. Money. I've learned money comes and it goes, and you can't stop doing what you want to do in life because of money. It's better to have it because it allows you to do what you want to do. But with that being said, you can't let that alter your happiness.
You're now tuning in to Unfiltered.
Good OG, triple OG.
What's up, brother?
What's up, coach? What's up, coach?
All right, guys. Just like always, make sure you have your phones on silent.
Phones on silent.
Yeah, want to make sure we get a good discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how we start this episode of Unfiltered. Everyone, I want to introduce you guys. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but we have the one and only Felva, in the building. Felva, please introduce yourself to the ones that don't know you.
Which camera?
Any camera. You got main cam, side cam, and dedicated camera for you.
You got this set up. What's up, y'all? I go by the name of Felva, also known as Dímelo Felva, as you might have heard on my production tagline, or at the club when I'm spinning in your city. Yeah, man, super dope to be here. Ecuadorian, Colombian roots, raised in Miami. I always say Miami made me, New York, Miami raised me, New York made me. That's my thing, you know what I'm saying? And it's good to be here with my brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. Yeah, no, so I wanted to, kind of like lift the curtain up a little bit and show people that, the entire Felva project and just everything you have encapsulated that you did all these years is not something that just happened overnight, It's a lot of grind, a lot of, late nights, a lot of networking, meeting people and being in the right place at the right time. I mean, hey, we can start off how we met. We met in backstage of Ultra.
Facts.
Yeah. It was that was actually my first time backstage like that. Shout out to Fight Club. I was with them. And then we ended up because backstage for the ones that know, it's a whole different experience than you going there as a regular admission. So we were backstage, but at some point I was like, man, I kind of want to go out there in the crowd. I want to be I want to feel the
energy.
Yeah, and then me and him were like, yo, you down? We went.
And we just did our own thing.
Yeah, we just got lost. It got to the point where our shoes got muddy, and I was like, man, I think we messed up. We got to go back.
Yeah, that was cool.
But it was cool. A vibe. It was a vibe.
What year was that? I want to say that was definitely pre-COVID.
Yes.
That was like 2000, maybe like 17, 18, maybe something like that.
Yeah. It's been some time since then. It's been some time since then for sure.
So that's almost 7-8 years.
Yeah. And during that time, I mean, you actually you didn't go by Felva. You went by Fuego.
Fuego Beats.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fuego Beats. The real. That's the government name.
Yeah.
The ones that know, that's the government.
Was Fuego Beats the original name, or did you have any prior names to that?
I mean, I had like growing up, I've done music for so long. Like, it's just been like the two things I've done in my life is make music and play basketball. Like, and they've both taken different priority levels. Like at some point in my life, depending on what stage I'm in. But it's a journey. It's a process. Finding yourself as an artist, who you are. I rapped, I made beats, I DJed this and that. I called myself a bunch of things. Throughout my life, until you get one that sticks, and Fuego Beats was one that definitely stuck, one that I started, I would say, my DJ career with, and I definitely did a maybe 5 to 7 year process under that name, and it was I was legit, Fuego Beats is legit, and that was more of like an EDM thing I had going on, but I had to rebrand, ultimately, you get to stages where you realize like names and different challenges that may happen or maybe somebody already has that name or whatever, and you're trying to build a legitimate business and brand around what you want to be passionate about. So, I rebranded into Felva, which is my real name, Felipe Vargas. It's just an abbreviation of it. And I love it. It's the best thing I could have done when I did it. At first, a lot of people were skeptical about it because Fuego Beats was Fuego Beats and it was a vibe, and I was just like, but if I really want to have a household brand name, that Google, that Apple, whatever it is, I gotta switch up, and it gave me a lot of direction. That's when I kind of went into the Latin stuff a little bit more.
That's true.
I pivoted.
I remember when you were rebranding. just to touch upon rebrand, because there's a lot of artists out there that are at some point rebranding themselves. Would you say it's kind of it's a risk, right? It's a risk because there's a lot of unanswered questions of like, are people going to like it? Are people not going to like it? So what do you think that you did that kind of helped you get the people's trust back? Like, hey, it's still me. It's just this is my new brand.
Yeah, it's a huge risk,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not one that you should take lightly.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to think about,
Mm-hmm.
and take time to yourself and find yourself and what you really want to do, what you want out of your career, out of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's that type of change, and sometimes it could be taken as a gimmick, especially if you're not as established as you'd like to be, or maybe whatever it is, But my biggest advice to anybody rebranding is take your time. Don't feel rushed. Don't jump into like a random thing. When I was transitioning, I considered 3 or 4 different names. I got logos done for each name just to see what the visual would look like what a show would look like.
That's
and,
smart,
and what just kind of bring it to life before going public with it, before hitting it. And I was gonna go with Felva because I was trying to figure out like how I could take my name and make it like just a unique thing that doesn't exist. And I ended up coming up with just abbreviating those. And then when I took the R out of Felva, I got Felva, and that all happened because I had gotten a logo created for Felva, and I was like, it's not sitting right. It's not the R is weird. Let me cut that out. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I Googled that. Felva didn't exist anywhere on Google. It was like completely open, and it was like, let's go. That's just my name. You know what I'm saying? It's something that people could call me in rooms. I don't have to feel like I'm Fuego Beats and I'm sitting in front of like a bunch of older corporate people that push deals through. So I just wanted something organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Awesome.
So
it
was the best thing I could have done. But definitely take your time when you're rebranding. It took me. It was a 6-month period. I stopped even making music. I just thought every day. I didn't stop making music, but I just kind of focused on other things. The gym. You got to do other things that don't put so much pressure on it. And it'll eventually all come.
No, I remember that time because I remember even shared some of the new logos and stuff like that, and I was actually pretty impressed the fact that you were taking it very serious. Because a lot of people think just rebranding is just changing the name and that's it. It's more to that. And then at the same time, it's going to represent you. It's going to represent what your future project. So it's like it's a new baby you're creating. And you don't want, it's a permanent thing, really. I mean, unless you rebrand again, but that's a whole different thing. Or if you do another project. So I think ultimately I would say it was very successful.
Yeah.
And the fact that the name, the rebranding, and the way you continue pushing the name forward, and then now it's like people know you as Felva. So.
Yeah. It was definitely something that I look back on, and it's like one of my proudest like accomplishments because it's that level of importance, and it can make or break you. It could definitely make or break you. In this case, I think it made me. Sometimes when you share information like this with other people, they don't understand the gravity of, how important it is because it's your thing and only you're going to go hard for that. And everybody has their own thing and it's not a knock on anybody else. But people could be judgmental or give you advice or whatever the case is. But you ultimately have to see what's true to you. Listen to those around you, the peers around you. That's very important to have people around you that are knowledgeable, that could give you advice, that are just good people to keep around you. But ultimately, even those people aren't you. So you have to, take everything with a grain of salt, listen to it, and process it and apply that, whether it applies or doesn't. But just be true to yourself, because there's a lot of people out there that gave me advice and it was good advice, solid advice, and I just try to take the positive out of it. But if I would have listened to those people, I would have never rebranded or I would have never been like, oh, Felva or whatever the case is because of XYZ opinion. You know what I'm saying? And people that are very credible. That you just want like, okay, you're successful, so I'm gonna do that. But ultimately you gotta do you. You know what I'm saying? And trust in you.
100%.
But definitely consult and talk, during that 6-month period, I talked to people. I what do you think of this? What do you think of that? You need that.
100%. That way you make sure you pretty much tripling down on your idea and like, you know what, this is it. instead of you just saying it's just me, we'll go for it. Because at that point you're playing the lottery. You're just getting
Correct.
lucky. Now you're like, all right, my peers around me, they like it, they don't like it, whatever the case may be. No, it's awesome, man. But so I know we're talking about a little bit about Felva and stuff like that. I wanted to take it back. You mentioned a little bit earlier that another of your passion is basketball.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I know you played basketball through high school and things like that. Were you doing music during that time, or it was just strictly basketball?
I always did both. Like basketball came into my life first when I was maybe 6, 7 years old in elementary school, PE, how everybody starts. Yeah. And I took a liking into it. I joined the YMCA, then Time Miami, the different youth leagues in Miami. And I had a best friend named Davin Casely who was really good and obsessed. And that was my brother, and he had a court at his house. So I just always took on basketball. But the same way that I came into fruition with basketball, I came into fruition with music early in my life when I was 12, 13, where I met neighbors across the street that did, my Jamaican friends in Miami Lakes in my dad's house. They made music. We played basketball together as kids. Naturally, I started making music, and I just became very hip into both of them,
Yeah.
And the DJing side is something that I think I started very, very early in my life too, but not necessarily DJing. But like I was always the kid that burned CDs when a Napster was around, and you had, and then MP3s came in, and now you could fit 90 songs into an MP3. Like during that transition, I was very into that stuff. I was very like, I had hip hop CDs, 3 6 Mafia, Biggie, Tupac, Selena, Shakira, and I would like give my mom one, or I would sell them for $5. But I was that kid.
Yeah.
So to me, that was DJing already, because it's selecting. You're a selector. You're a selector. You're music selecting. You're putting your crates together. I had the album with the, So to me, that's when I was first exposed to DJing. Very shortly after that, in middle school, I met a kid who was a DJ, and we became really great friends. And he rapped, and I started rapping, and I just got involved into that. And I DJ'd my first wedding, quinces, when I was like in middle school. I was 14, 13, me and him. He did most of the work because he was more seasoned.
Yeah.
But I was, I was
You're
learning.
exposed
I was into
to that
it.
already.
Yeah. So shout out to Gabriel de los Reyes. I've had very awesome friends along my life that I think God has put in my lane that I have just been able to learn from, and been able to like just piggyback off of what they love to do. I was always more of the basketball guy. That was always my thing. But music was always that. And as I got older and my career started to, injuries, and I had accomplished high school, college, even playing pro, FIBA, like what's the next step? It wasn't going to be basketball for me. So naturally I started to dwindle down, and the next thing for me was music. So as that happened, it was a natural transition, but I was always DJing in college, always DJing or making beats. It was always both of those things for me.
Yeah, because I remember, did you DJ when you were in college? You were this was in New York, right? Didn't you DJ when you were up there, or you were like?
That's when I really that's when the DJing really came into play for me, was in college, because that's when I was on the basketball team, and that's when the school parties would happen, and I bought my first little DJ. I started DJing on virtual DJ, just learning, like even just pressing sync and just learning the language in general.
Yeah.
And then I got the little controller, and I had like 30 songs, and I would always mix the same songs, but I was just learning, and I always had a following because of the basketball team. I was always like a cool kid.
Yeah.
So when we started doing parties on campus, people would come, and I'm sure the mixing was horrible at the time, but everyone partied and had a good time. And I started working hand in hand with the school to do different school events, and then I started DJing at the bars around the campus, so the campus would come, and I had the campus following. So it was a very cool, like, student college DJ experience that I had, and then I would make the beats in my dorm room. I studied music business, so when I was going to school, I was taking, music technology classes, Pro Tools, Reason, learning those programs, but then, taking music theory classes and learning that side of that with the accounting, with the businessman, so it all came together to kind of like, my college experience was very vital to what I'm doing in life now. It really laid a strong foundation. I can't say that that's the same for everybody, but for me, that's how it worked out, and it was awesome. I mean, the best years of my life, some of the best years of my life.
And that college was again, it was.
I went to Manhattanville college at the time. Now it's officially Manhattan University.
Okay, shout out to them.
So shout out Manhattanville University. I recently went there 2 years ago to do a show as a performer as
Nice.
Felva. They, you know, and I did that, and it was awesome. They showed love. They had the big posters all over campus, and it was really nice for the kids. So it's cool, man. I try to stay involved with the people that developed me, you know.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah, because I also remember even like after we met, there was a time, I don't know if you put music for pause for a second, before even Felva existed, you went overseas and you played for like Barcelona and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So during that time, did you put music to pause during that time when you're focused on basketball over there overseas?
Like I said, I never really put anything on pause. It just takes different priority levels in my life, but I'm always active. It's very important to stay active. But what I did put on pause was corporate America, because when I graduated from college, the college, you know, following and this and that, and I was living in New York, and I got a job with ADP, payroll company, and I was selling ADP payroll, which was also a very important time in my life. It taught me a lot about sales and business and things like that. I was doing that for 2-3 years, and you know, it was cool, but it wasn't really ultimately what I wanted to do, and it got to a point where I put that on pause, and I shifted over to trying to make music happen full time, maybe at the age of like 25, I would say, 24, 25. And when that happened, you know, poverty struck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Poverty struck, and you know, I lived the life of a starving artist for a long time in my life.
Ramen noodles and mom's cooking.
You know, a very long time in my life, but it's all good. Money, I've learned money comes and it goes, and you can't stop doing what you want to do in life because of money. It's better to have it because it allows you to do what you want to do. But with that being said, you know, you can't let that alter your happiness. Like, your happiness cannot come from source of finances, because
100% agree with that.
it's too volatile. But with that being said, I put corporate America on pause, and I had a lot of time in my hands, so I focused on being in the studio, getting better at producing, getting better at DJing. Like, you know, people think that like you put something on pause and you transition to something else and success happens, and it doesn't happen. Like, you really have to put in that time in the studio. I was really in the studio, forgetting to shower, forgetting to shave. Like, I was working because I felt like I had to make it in this, you know, like I just quit what my mother and my father would have wanted me to do, and a 6-figure position and this and that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just did that to do this. So you got to really work if you want it, you know, and you know, ultimately I wanted it, so I put that time in. But you can't just make music all day.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
that's
so
true.
I started playing ball again.
Yeah.
You know, I started playing ball again. I hadn't played in after college for a couple of years. I started hooping again, and I started training. I met my boy Jonathan Rodriguez, who's been, again, one of those friends that you meet along the way that are just special people. And he played at Campbell University. He was playing pro in Puerto Rico. The guy's a super hooper, pro in Mexico. Like, my mentor, you know, it's my big brother when it comes to that. And I started training with him because he was off season, and I started training every day. I got back into my bag, and I was like, yo, it would be dope to still play. Like, I was 25 at the time, 26. Like, I was still young enough. I was like, it'd be dope to still go play pro. Like, it's a hoop dream that I never did.
Of course,
You know what I'm saying? And he was plugged in. A lot of this stuff happens with connections and who you know. It's, you know what I'm saying? And I played small basketball. Like, I didn't play at a high major Division I school. Manhattanville's a small school. So it's harder for us to get those chances to go play pro overseas. Like, they're going to pick the high majors and the low majors first. And, you know, it's a chain. So he connected me with an agent named Aníbal Paulik, who's Argentinian. He was plugged into Ecuador, and I was born in Ecuador, which made it way easier for me to go play over there. And he saw me play, and he plugged me right in. And I stopped everything I was doing. I was like, yo, mom, I'm gonna go hoop pro in Ecuador. I'm out. She was like, all right. So I went. I played for Emelec, which is a super dope club over there. And my first year, and it was really cool. I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? It was awesome. But I got injured. Injuries always played a part, and you know, I was skinny always, and basketball is high contact, especially when you go overseas. Like, it's like no blood, no foul. In Latin America, it's very savage. It's very Indian type of basketball. So I broke my wrist, and it was like my first experience being overseas in another country, it was not cool, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And the team owed me some money, and it was just ugly. Everything was just ugly. I wasn't enjoying it. But it was cool. Came back. I was kind of lost.
Yeah.
Still made music, but I was just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? What I do, I get a call from Barcelona Sporting Club for the next season to go back and hoop. I was like, let me try this again.
Yeah.
You know, I went back. I go to play, and I just didn't really play well. Because when I came back, I wasn't really focused on it like that. I was like, I injured. I don't know. So I really wasn't training year round, and that's a testament to like if you're gonna do something, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Whether it's basketball, whether it's marketing, whether it's music, cooking.
Yep.
Like you got to work at it every day, regardless of what's going on. If you really want to be one of the greats, and that was a situation. I was like, oh, let me just go back and hoop, and I went and I played like ass.
Yeah.
I got cut. 6 games into it, I got cut, and I had a lot of hype around me.
Damn.
And I got cut. I hadn't been cut from a team in a long time, and it was like, damn, I just got cut.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, we paying you mad bread, and you're scoring 4 points a game. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, cool. I was a free agent for a little bit. Then I went to play with this other team that ended up going to play Liga Sudamericana in Bolivia, which is the highest level of basketball you could play at a Latin American level. It's when the champions of every league face each other off. Like the Copa America of basketball is what this is.
Okay.
And that was fire.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was the best experience. Like I went to Bolivia. Bro, Nate Robinson was playing in the tournament.
Nice.
He was like, it was very cool stuff. Bro.
Yeah, I remember.
High level.
I remember where I think it was a conversation. This was back when we met in Ultra, and I think you were like, "Yeah, you play ball," and it's like, "Yeah." But the thing is that at the time I play a rec league, and my team we're pretty good. Like we were the champs. So he was like,
5 boroughs, baby.
5 boroughs. So he was like, yeah, maybe I'll play with you. I don't know this guy yet. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he's trash. I don't know.
But we said that at Ultra.
Yes, at Ultra. I'm over here, and he's texting me like, yo, when you want to hoop, I'm over here like, oh, man, what if this guy sucks, whatever. Long story short, I was like, yo, come on by. And I remember we put him in the game, and I remember Ty's next to me. We're on the bench, and he's like, I think you had a midi, and you just shot it, went in, and Ty's like, damn, Chris, that's a good pickup, dog. I'm just like, we got speed back. I was like, yo, we back. And I think we ended up winning. You played with us for 3. We got 3 championships after that.
I played 3.
So it was like chip after chip.
Yeah, I had a great time. I was a good insertion for that team. It was good. It was like I could shoot, I could dribble a little bit, but then you had Darian, you had Ty, and everybody coach over here coming in, you know what I'm saying? Nah, it was dope. I miss playing with you guys, to be honest. It was very good for my mental. And at the time, I was still like living that hoop dream kind of. Now I'm more chill, but I'm still involved with basketball, just on a different level. But it's always something that.
Now, before we get off the basketball topic, didn't you recently, maybe like a year or 2 ago, you played ball with Major Lazer, or with Diplo and them? And
that happened during Art Basel. That happened like right after. Or I don't know if it was pre-COVID or after. I think it was pre-COVID, like right before the shit happened. The last Art Basel, I think in 2019. I was really, really cool with Ape Drums, and Ape Drums, for those who don't know, is one of the 3 members of Major Lazer. You got Ape Drums, Walshy, and Diplo, and me and Ape Drums, hit it off, and we were hooping. He could play, he could hoop, and we would hoop and make music and whatnot. And so when Art Basel came through, Nike did a tournament, like a collaboration, Art Basel thing pop up. I forget where, but in some store in Wynwood, and they had a court out there. I think it's the LeBron store, actually. The LeBron store. Yeah. What is that called? I forget what it's called. I was about to say Unfiltered.
Is it Unmuted?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a celebrity thing.
Yeah.
And so A Drums asked me to hoop. And the Major Lazer had a team in it, and I played, and it was really cool. It was like a Rucker Park, a Rucker little celebrity Rucker Park thing. It's one of the funnest times I've had in my basketball career for sure. Because Diplo pulls up, all of a sudden I'm playing ball with Diplo.
Was it a 3-on-3 or 4-on-4?
It was a 3-on-3.
Okay.
He pulled up, Ape Drums was there, and it was just like it was cool. It was cool. It was a good time. You know what I'm saying? And vibes was up.
The place was called Unknown.
Unknown. Yeah.
Unknown. So it was cool, and Diplo left the tournament early. He's obviously a busy man.
Yeah.
So he left a little early, played a couple games, and dipped out. And then they gave us I forget who. They just gave us a girl, like one of his home girls, and then we tried, but it was
like, damn, what happened?
yeah. But it was fun. It was fun. That's how the
all the pressure went to you now. It's it's like, well, that's why we brought him, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
like...
the thing is, I was out of shape too. You know what I'm saying? So we did what we could. We did what we could.
Yeah.
Nah, but that was a cool experience. And shout out to Major Lazer. A lot of my music influence early on in my career, and some of my more credible projects early on was, you know, alongside Walshy, alongside 8 Drums. You know, participating in a couple of Diplo projects, and that was really cool. You know what I'm saying? And they are like a group of DJs that fuse like the Caribbean with the electronic, and sometimes do the Latin, and it was like a good school for me to go through, and essentially that's also part of some of my sound.
Now that's what I was gonna say. You have something unique where, like, if somebody doesn't know you right now and they hear, you know, just listening to this podcast and be like, oh, he probably does just Latin music and stuff like that. But you have a pretty diverse sound in the sense of, like, I mean, even working with like Papa Caution and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I think you even bust the rhymes too, if I'm not mistaken. So like it goes, your sound, you know, well, let me ask you this. What is your sound now? Because obviously sounds evolves with depending on the crowd of people and then your project that you're working on. What is your sound right now that you're most focused on?
I feel that I don't like to categorize it because it kind of puts me in a box, and my sound is just, I just put it under, I label it as club music, you know, and it's just like I DJ, so like I'm in the clubs, and that has a big influence on my production. So I always try to make music that I could play at the clubs. Now, the game has brought me to a place with relationships, friendships, artist friends that, you know, like Popeye Caution, who's one of the guys that I started really making music with on a deep level. Like when you connect with an artist and you just put music out for a while and you just focus, it was with Popeye, and he's a Jamaican dance hall pop artist. So his music was very Major Lazer-ish, you could say. It's that you know, global dance hall sound, you know. And so a lot of that was through him. But then being of Latin descent and living in Miami, and through with Popeye, we were able to connect a song with Joel from Joel y Randy called Jamaica. And that was the beat on that song, the instrumental was a reggaeton, and that was like my first real intro to reggaeton. And it was like a good beat that I had, but it wasn't polished, like seasoned how how a reggaeton producer would produce it. But it was good, you know. So it was good enough for them to record over. And then once I got stuck with that project, I was like, now I gotta figure this reggaeton thing out. You know what I'm saying? So I went in on it, and I was working with Joel, and he was like, yo, it needs to sound like this more. And he was very particular about the sound and la la la. So he kind of put me through like a training of like reggaeton. And again, I had friends who make reggaeton. Some of my best friend producers are big in the reggaeton world, like my boy JS Beats, who I collaborate with all the time till this day. You know, it's important to have those guys you could call and be like, yo, what do you think of this? How do you think this bass sounds? Or what do you think of this or this sound or this snare? Oh, maybe swap this, swap that. Just, you know. So once I got that done, with the mix of the Joel and the Popeye thing and the music we were making, it just kind of put me in a place where I was making a lot of like Latin and dance hall. And that fused, you know. And in today's world, you know, I released with Yailin La Más Viral recently, and Randy, a big perreo record that was one of Yailin's singles. And then prior to that, I released with Ding Dong and Popeye and Busta Rhymes, Where You Find This, which also charted and did really well in the reggae charts. We were #1 on the reggae charts next to Bob Marley. That was like huge. And
wow.
Yeah, that was crazy, you know, just seeing that there. And and that stuff is just like, it was all dance hall, new wave dance hall, perreo, reggaeton. But I don't want to limit it to just that stuff, you know, like I make a lot of like trap, like I just sent some beats to Tyga, you know, like, you know, that those like pop trap stuff. In the American market, the hip hop market, I'm very good at that stuff. And then I just came back from Ibiza, and I was hanging out with my boy Malone, who's one of the top DJs in the world right now for the underground tech house scene. And he's touring in Spain and Ibiza and all that. And we came up together, and for instance, I just pitched him a record and he loved it, and it got it's gonna get placed, you know.
There
So
you go.
that's like an underground tech house
Yeah.
record that has nothing to do with
Of course.
Latin and dance hall, but it's like
gonna-
I understand those vibes. I'm very hip into Miami's like Caribbean, Latin, and house music. Like that's what you get here.
It's a mutt
You know,
here,
that's
bro.
what
It's
you
a
get
lot.
here. It's like you're
Yeah.
going to space for the house. Okay, you're gonna go to the Caribbean, you know, vibes, or you got the Caribbean vibes for real, and then you're gonna go to Spanish. That's like everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like here, it's like boom, boom, boom. That's what you get. Everything else in between that in Miami is like an indie thing.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what it is commercially here. So I'm a product of that. My music is a product of that, like the Latin, the hip hop, and the house.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So we actually, some of our team members, so we're remote. That's why some of them are in Colombia and stuff like that. One of them, her name is Danny. She's actually a DJ in Colombia.
Yeah.
She has some questions for you, so I'm gonna let Kayla take over from here.
So the first one I wrote down from her was, she said being a DJ and producing music for other people can be very stressful. So how do you manage all of your stress when it comes down to coming up with the ideas for other people, and then have your own ideas or your personal sound?
For sure. Yeah, that's a tricky thing because it's something very difficult to do when you are making music for others.
Yeah.
Because you have to take yourself sometimes out of your world.
Yeah.
And step into that world.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do it. The people that are able to successfully do that ultimately are very important, you know, and people that are valued. And so I would challenge her to not stop and try to continue to conquer that world. But a lot of times you have to do things that don't have anything to do with music to relieve your stress.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck on a project or if I'm writing something, whether it's for me or for somebody else, and it's just not hitting, I just don't touch it. I just go play basketball. I'll go swim.
Yeah.
I'll go cook.
I think it's important you have balance. You know, pretty much you just can't keep doing one thing you got to have balance in life.
With that being said, a lot of these projects sometimes have deadlines, and now I've been in situations where I can't go play basketball. I got to figure it out. So when it's that type of project, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll figure it out if it's something that, you know, you'll figure it out. You'll gather your resources. You'll have a moment, pray, ask God. Like I have God is in my life first. I pray every night, and you know, when I've been in tough situations, and unfortunately as humans we tend to pray more when we need stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just how we're wired, which is it's something that I think myself and in general have to be worked on, and I've been trying to just be more thankful when just of everyday things that happen, just being here with you guys or getting here safely or eating a good meal, like just be thankful of everyday basic things. But I could definitely say that when I put God in my life first, a lot of things happen organically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, because my work is there, everything is there, but you there has to be an external energy rooting your way for things to happen, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And then actually that kind of brings me to another question. This one wasn't from Danny. This one was from one of our other girls, Stephanie. She asked what part of, you know, your culture and, you know, your culture's music continually inspire your sound. Like what part of your being inspires your sound?
Right. That's a good question. When they say my culture, I'm assuming they mean
Colombian, Ecuadorian,
like
like New York, you know, everything. So.
I've been exposed to like a lot of different things in my life. Like I've lived in different places. Like I'm Ecuadorian and Colombian, but again, I was born there and I moved to Miami when I was 2. So really, I feel more like Miami grown than Ecuadorian grown. My father's Colombian. That whole side of Colombian was very prominent in my life, and that was the immediate family that I had in the States growing up. So that side was exposed to me a lot. And the American New York, Miami upbringing has a lot. Like I love American music. You know, like I love hip hop. I love trap. I love like, you know, EDM and all this stuff. So that cloud of what I would consider my culture, I'm just constantly digging for new music and new sounds. And as part of a DJ, I like to go out and listen to other DJs. When I went to Ibiza, you know, part of my goal when I travel is I need to put myself in a circuit of music where I'm hearing the best sounds
Yeah.
from the best DJs. And I'm not getting that in Miami summertime. I'm getting that in Ibiza summertime because David Guetta's there, Martinez brothers are there, Malone is there, everybody's there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna go travel, have a good time, make some connections, but go listen to music and go enjoy myself because now I'm processing what these guys are playing, who they're exposed.
Yeah.
Those guys are getting next level music, so I'm putting myself. So when I hear that, then I go back to the studio. And I'm like, damn, listen to the production on this song. This is crazy what they did here, or this is wow what they did here, or this is dope. You know, even TikTok, even that stuff, you have to stay. You know, people talk about the whole TikTok thing, but the reality is a lot of the new music that's popping is off of that. Yeah. So if I was just like to alienate that, then I wouldn't really see where the trends are.
Correct. Yeah.
So you have to like keep your ear to the streets at all times. Keep your ear at the clubs. The look at what Bad Bunny did with the salsa. Yeah. Salsa was kind of, now I'm not gonna say dead, but in terms of like what people listen to salsa, it's all like classical music.
Yeah,
it's all like 90s, Frankie Ruiz, Jerry, and that will never die. But you gotta know to know. Yeah. You know, it's not commercially modernly accepted until Bad Bunny hit that. You know, and he hit that and he made salsa thing, and now I could play salsa at the clubs, and even though I'm playing a Jerry Rivera song, it's like keeps the party afloat, and it's like a seamless transition because Bad Bunny did this and integrated that. So as a DJ, and to answer that question, I just I hear that, I hear the trends, I travel, and I stay tight. You know what I'm saying? I stay afilado.
That's really cool. The fact that you know, because a lot of people won't. You're essentially investing in yourself and investing in what you do. I mean, you have to surround yourself, or you know, like you're saying in this case, you know, you're not gonna find that new sound here in Miami. So it's like, where is it at? You found out it's in Ibiza. Boom, let's go there. And at the same time, you know, it's like this is all for you. This is all a good cause. You're not just going there just be like, oh, let me see.
It's self-education.
Exactly.
It's self-education, and the world is your biggest playground. You know what I'm saying? So go out there, go do that. And not to say I'm not going to find a new sound in Miami, because I will, but it happens at times. Like if I want to listen to good electronic music in Miami Music Week is a time to do it. You have to be outside just to hear what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Basel, there's points, you know, and you know, if you want to go listen to like good hip hop, go to New York City. Go to New York City. You know what I'm saying? Go to New York City and go to a Queens club or go to a Brooklyn club. Or you know what I'm saying, and go and you're gonna see that what's happening up north. That a lot of people here are not tapping into or scared to tap into, and it's like, you know what I'm saying. Go to Jamaica and check out the dancehall scene. Like that's very important. That's why my Instagram, when you go on there, you see it's the first thing that says world traveling DJ, and I don't mean that from like a boastful standpoint. I mean that from like, I really like to travel the world and pick up sounds and listen and DJ and come back. Like it's literally what you do. So travel is very important, I think, and you know, putting yourself in those situations.
How do you balance that with like the producing and playing sets and growing your social life and the travel? How do you balance all of that?
Well, it's hard to do, you know. It's like, I definitely think that like a lot of times I lack in some areas, you know, like sometimes I'd like to be in the studio more. Sometimes I'd like to be traveling more. I just kind of do what my body is asking of me, what my mind is telling me. But I know that like, as long as I'm doing something that is building toward like the bigger picture, then ultimately I'm doing something right and something good's gonna come out of it. But you have to be very intentful with what you want to do, you know, and there has to be purpose behind what you want to do. Like if you're going to the studio session or a studio, you're gonna make beats, like you have to be, today I'm making a banger, today I'm gonna do this, like that has to be the attitude, or today I'm gonna write a song for XYZ or make a beat for this person, whatever, like just be very intentful. Or I'm gonna travel to do this, and boom, and be intentful behind that. Or I want to load up my DJ schedule this month, and next month I need to make money. Like, let me get on the phone and get on my sales tip and call the promoters. Call it, yo, what's good? Wagwan. Yeah, let's get it. Like, you know, and ultimately, in order to balance this cloud out, you're going to need a team. Like, I don't do my accounting. My mother does that for me. If I was to have to invoice people and deal with taxes and this and that with, you know, the amount of gigs that I take, the amount of beats that I'm selling and all these things, I would definitely have errors all over my accounting system, you know? So I have a designated person that does that. I have a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. Whenever things, have to be discussed and negotiated and things like that, I call him and I deal with the business on that end, and that keeps me good. I have friends that I collaborate with, so if there's a beats that need to be opportunity to place things and I don't have that sound or whatever the case is, I stay tapped into like colleagues of mine that I love, respect, and want to see win. Because it's no good to do things and be successful on your own. It's always better when your friends are successful too. So I try to do that stuff. So I guess I've learned the importance of outsourcing. And delegating. It's extremely important because you cannot do everything yourself. And I am still not the prototype like book model for like, hey, follow this. But I'm trying, and that's what I've learned. And it's helped. So don't put everything on your own plate. See what you have around you, who you have around you that supports you, and try to build a team. Try to build a business that will help you grow. A good foundation.
Absolutely.
There was a question about a button. What was it that the girls were talking about earlier?
See. Oh, okay. What do you think about using the sync button when you play a DJ set? Is this button placed on the CDJ to help the artist, or do you think that a real DJ should do the beat matching without using it?
Yeah, I'm pro technology. But with that being said, I'm also pro craftsmanship. Right? So there's a lot of purists out there, whether it's from producing, whether it's from DJing, whatever form of musicality that you do, that'll be like, I won't use the sync button, or I'm not gonna use Splice, the production, the producer library to produce. I'm gonna play this, or I'm gonna do that, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's all good, but I'm not gonna knock on somebody that uses it too. Because at the end of the day, it's what you do with what's out there. And it's how you manipulate this and that. So the sync button specifically is meant, in a lot of people's eyes, to make things easier, because you just press that and you don't have to sync things up. In reality, syncing and beat matching when it comes to DJing is like one of the most simple tasks that you can do. And in my opinion, in terms of priority list and being a good DJ, it's not nowhere near at the top. Like I would put song selection. If you use the microphone, interaction with the crowd over that. Just if you're an open format DJ, like how you go in and out of genres and things like that. Because once you learn how to DJ, like the physical part of beat matching and transitioning, that's like the easy part. What takes time to become a good DJ is like the years of reading rooms, reading crowds. That's what ultimately will separate you from like AI. Because AI can sync something up for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're against. But can AI read the room? Can AI read the vibes, feel the vibes? As of now, I don't think so, and I'm hoping that at least for the next bit, till I'm done, that they'll take my job over. But I'm nervous for like what's to come for sure, like for future DJs, my kids, if I ever have any, God willing. But the sync button could be used strategically for different moments. Like if you want to go from a song that's 98 BPM and transition to house into 128 BPM, and you use a sync button to sync both tracks and bringing them both up, you're still DJing. It's still a trick. It's a trick, and you're still doing that. Now if you're just staying straight the whole time, a sync button might have its time and its place if I'm just at an after party chilling. If I'm at an after party chilling and I'm just vibing and I'm just trying to, I'll just mix this, whatever. It might have a time and a use there. Now if I'm DJing and doing my thing, I don't think it's necessary to use a sync button. You know what I'm saying? You should be DJing, but is there a time and a place for it? Of course. So like respect the craftsmanship, know how to DJ, 100%. Be a DJ, but I'm not mad at you if you got the sync button on and you're chilling or you're doing something or you know what I mean? Like it's all good, bro. Like people are so purist and judgmental on things, and it's like, bro, like calm down, bro. Like, calm down. Is there,
So touching upon AI, I want to touch upon AI in the sense of there's so many AI tools out there, right?
Yeah.
And you being a producer, you know how to do it the hard way. And obviously, I mean, AI is just a new term for a new advanced tool. That's essentially what it is. Because essentially, we've always been using tools forever, and you should use the tools just like a hammer for the purpose of what it's for, to help you, right? So like, for example, there's DJs back in the days, they had to get the record player and go sort through the vinyls, and they would then pick a song and all that. That would take a long time, just like photography, the dark room and all that. So you've always been using tools, but now that we have so much more advanced tools, right?
Yeah.
Are you using any AI tools to like help you when it comes to maybe song select, like when you're, and I'm not talking about DJing, I'm talking about when you're in your studio and you're like, I'm gonna make a banger. So
yeah, 100%. Again, the last question I started off by saying I'm pro technology, so but again, respect the craftsmanship. So I use it alongside of my old, my old dog tricks. Let's say, you know what I'm saying. So, ChatGPT I use all the time for problem solving.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in the studio and I need to take a mobile setup to another studio and there's a certain setup over there, I ask ChatGPT, if I take these cables, if I take these things, am I going to have any issues, or what should I like expect? And it'll give me a real clear and concise answer of like what I should do, and I'm better prepared for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll use it for that. The other day, for instance, I switched over. My boy DJ's on vinyls, and we switched over. I was using Serato. We went from analog to digital, and we switched. Everything was fine. And then when I left, he couldn't DJ for a week because the vinyls weren't working. It wasn't sound on the speakers. Come to find out, the mixer had like a little small setting you could barely even see in the back that you have to switch from analog to line. I mean, from digital to analog for the vinyl to sound. And he couldn't figure it out for a week. And I don't blame him, because it was like the smallest thing in the back. And I was there too trying to figure it out. I was like, I can't figure this out. I asked ChatGPT. It says, check the back of this mixer. I specifically said what mixer it was. And I looked, I found it, and it worked.
That's crazy.
So it's a tool. It's there for you, right? Boom. So use it, right? Production-wise, there's a lot of crazy things that are happening right now. There's like things that you just press like a button, and it's like a whole melody, a whole beat, and all of that. The problem is that when everybody has access to the same tools and the same research, a lot of people sound the same, and a lot of people aren't going to go the extra mile to make that sound unique or whatever. So like a lot of times, if I like a sound that something AI-based produced, I'll still go the extra mile and sample that sound and
that's what I think it should be used.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Right. So you could do it like that. But sometimes it's been dope. Like sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio. I'm like, yeah, I like that song. That song is fire. I like the drums. Yeah. And instead of killing myself looking for drums, I'll stem that song out. I'll find those drums. I like the kick. I like the snare. I like how it's hitting. I like how it's mixed. And I'll take that and I'll create my own little library. And I'll start making beats, a fresh idea, but with using those samples, using those hits. And it's like saving me time in mixing, because they're already mixed the way I want them. They're already, so it's like, it's also like, you can.
It fast tracks your production.
It's there. Like use it. You know what I'm saying? Use it. Be cognizant of people's intellectual property. If somebody made some shit or whatever the case is, and it's unique and it's to that sound, just if you're gonna sample that, try to get the clearance. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't get the clearance, then work something else out. But I don't like. I'm in situations a lot where like artists will make a song to like somebody else's beat, or will make a song to like a YouTube beat, so it's already on like a foundational track, and then they want to redo it, and it's like this track is already in a certain scale, it's already following a certain format, so now I have to basically redo this but just change a couple things, and I hate creating like that. And it's not the artist's fault, because a lot of times they might not have a beat readily available. They might just have access to the beats they have, and they might not be cool with that producer, or maybe not have access to this producer. And so it's not their fault. I don't want them to stop creating because of it. But it's not a session that I like to generally take on, because it's like, damn, now I got to step into your world and just redo something that somebody else did and try to make it sound like me. And it's cool, we could do it, but it doesn't feel like 100% authentic. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty. I didn't even expect you were gonna answer that way, in the sense that using AI for like problem solving, I think it's genius. The fact that, you know, like, it's true, because like, depending on this, you know, there's always different gear and different clubs and all this, and then if you're in a situation where you have to use different equipment, you're gonna have a bunch of chords that you need to take, and it's like, let's just shortcut it. Here it is, boom. That's pretty awesome. And then the fact that, you know, you can use it to fast track, you know, your instead of having to research manually, you can fast track that research. But there's people out there that they think, like, because there is apps out there like, hey, make a song. They're like, hey, look, I'm a music producer, I made the song. I mean, just like I said in multiple podcasts, you have to respect the actual field that you're in, and you should always like know who's done it before you. You need to have like your knowledge of it. You should know what it is that you're trying to produce. So if you're trying to produce a certain sound, you can't just say I'm a reggaeton artist because I did 10 AI songs that I typed in reggaeton and now I'm a reggaeton artist. Is like, you know, if you can it happen? Can you get lucky? I mean, hey, yes, you can win the lottery.
Respect
it's
the
the
craft,
same thing, but you got to respect the craft.
Yeah. You know, because it's real musicians out there, and even me, like, I'm somebody that I use DJing in part of my production. I use sometimes AI, sometimes I splice, sometimes I also freehand stuff. Sometimes I'll sit there and play the piano. Like, that's why I don't like people to be so judgmental on tools that are out there, because there's been plenty of times that I'll sit down and I'll bang out a beat from scratch with nothing but like my hands, and it, you know, and so it's like, it's just a matter of how I feel like approaching that project and what's available and what sounds cooler. Sometimes I let my hands go, sometimes I sample, sometimes I use this, sometimes I that, but I go in regardless. You know, I go in regardless. I make sure it's, you know, I try to be as authentic as possible, but I don't alienate tools that are out there because of a purist or mind thinking. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm always going to try to evolve and try to work hand in hand with technology, and try to be the best at balancing the both. And I think, like, when you have a good foundation of like life, as we do because of our age and what we've been exposed to in the past and stuff like that, then we understand this. But what I'm nervous about is the people that are growing up with this technology and this is the standard. You know, because now it's like, if you go to school and you got to write a paper, like, these are things that I don't do anymore. But if I was doing these things I'm sure ChatGPT, like, I use ChatGPT for itineraries all the time, and it's the best. This is what I need. This is what my day looks like. Boom, boom, boom. It's done, and it's good. So, like, it's very good for problem solving, but like, it can be very excessive, and it's very like, you have access to so much, and it makes things so easy that, like, you don't. Nowadays, nobody knows anybody else's phone number by memory.
No.
Those days are gone. And I used to, that was like a thing, like, yo, call Philippe, what's the number? 305, and you knew that. Or call this, and you knew that, you know, like, you think about how sharp your mind was, you know, versus now. People don't even know north, south, east, and west. If I say, let's go to Miami Beach, and they don't have a GPS, and they don't have, you know, they don't know where they're standing. You understand? And that's like an issue for humanity. Because we're like slowly being dependent on these things and not using our, you know, our God-given brain. And you don't know to what level these Chat GPT and robots are gonna get to. And you know, next thing you know, you're talking to it so much, it's controlling you. Like, it's scary. It's honestly scary. Like, you know, but just kind of like, you know, stay woke. Stay woke is what I'm saying. Stay woke. Stay woke. You know what I'm saying? And when you're producing music, like, if you think you're being a producer because you're using this technology and it came out fire, like, bro, you need to stay woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's real life out there. You know, like, it's more than just your Instagram followers and you're like, there's like social media, and then there's like real life. You know what 100%. I'm saying? So it's wild times.
I know that you did a partnership with Red Bull recently, no?
Yeah.
How was that? What was that all about?
It's been good. It's been good. It's a partnership that's like, you know, slowly coming into bigger fruition. And this is the second time that I DJ their Red Bull Batalla event. Red Bull Batalla is like the big, Latin freestyle rap event that they do, where they have world competitions and they have freestylers from all over the world in Latin America, Venezuela, Colombia, Puerto Rico, and they face off and they have the judges there, and it's like a real freestyle battle.
Yeah.
You know, I've been blessed enough to work with them, opening up those parties as far as when, you know, the pre-party, the pre-battle vibes, you know, turning it up. And then after the battle happens, it's a party. And I shut down the after party as well. So I've been tasked with them to do these events. This is the second one that I do. The first one was at Factory Town. These are events with over 3,000 people, you know what I'm saying? Full out Red Bull, you know, shows, and it's been super cool, man. And it's I've had to learn a lot about like the boom bap, like cancerbero, like that, like Latin hip hop vibe, that, you know. But at the same time, the reason why I do the pre and the after is because I'm a club DJ, and at those events you still need to keep the people feeling good and all of that stuff. It can't just be, you know, freestyle rap for 5-6 hours straight. So so it's been a good balance, and they've extended themselves to me. They send me, you know, the Red Bull packages, and I give them away and to cool people like yourselves.
There you go.
And yeah, it's been good, man. It's another blessing. You know what I'm saying? It's another blessing to work with Red Bull. I like it. It's good.
That's what's up. And then there was also there was a festival that you did in overseas in Japan, was it? Or was it?
Oh yeah.
It was Asia's biggest Latin party.
That was the Yonaguni fiesta. So Yonaguni, for those that don't know.
So that's how you pronounce it, because we couldn't figure out
how to pronounce it. A lot of people know Yonaguni as the Bad Bunny song Yonaguni, and they don't even know what he's talking about. And he's like, yo a Yonaguni le llego. Like, for you, I'll go till Yonaguni.
Yeah.
You know, por ti voy pa Yonaguni. That's a city in Japan. So, yeah, my boy told me about that party in Japan, that it's like a big reggaeton party in Asia, which I was like, damn, a bunch of, you know, Japanese people and Asian people just reggaetoned out. That's pretty cool. And so I went to Japan. I didn't go specifically to play this party. Again, it's one of those things that I do for myself as a place that I want to visit. You know, hopefully at some point in my career, I will be able to travel and knock off all the bucket list items of places I want to go to through my music. Yeah. And that's already happening. But if it's not happening right now, I'm not going to stop myself from going somewhere. If I want to go do something, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make it fruitful regardless. Of course. So it's one of those examples where I flew myself to Japan because it's a bucket list place that I wanted to check out. And when I booked the flight, I did some market research, what's going on over there, and I reached out to them and I told them who I was. I told them that I had, you know, I sent them my resume, my all of that, and my team got in touch with theirs, and they were like, "Yo, we would love to have you." Nice. You know what I'm saying? They looked into the Joel y Randy songs in my catalog, and it was like fire. And I went over there, and it was awesome. I played the party was in Kyoto, which was like during Golden Week. So for those that don't know, Golden Week is like a time in Japan where there's a lot of holidays between like a 10-day span. Okay. So they basically just take those 10 days off. Damn. Wow. And it's just like,
we need to have that here.
It's called Golden Week, and it happens in May, and it's also my birthday. So I basically went to Golden Week for my birthday, Japan, and every day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is a vibe, you know? And I met some really cool people. I'm trying to go back to Japan. I've been talking to DJ Martin. Shout out to DJ Martin, big boss over there, big selector. And basically, I'd love to just go back and be part of that Japan culture, because Japan is really cool. You know what I'm saying? The food was good. Cool. People are very hospitable. They're very nice. The streets are clean. Crime is down. It's a really awesome. Probably a top destination that I've been to so far in terms of like culture shock and just like the way people live and all of that. You
It's
know,
almost like a different world.
it's a different
wanna go
world,
see
you know,
that.
in terms of that. You know, is it for everybody? Maybe not. A lot of people like the chaos we have going on over here in the States, and to some degree, I like it too. But you know, tranquility and organization is very important, and that's a place that you get a lot of that and more.
Yeah,
And a lot of substance over there. So if you haven't been to Japan, go check it out. Yeah,
It's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket
definitely
list.
worth it.
Now, I was gonna ask you because you know you being a producer, have you ever been in a situation? You know, everything's been all jolly and stuff, but you know, in the music industry, things can get really dirty really quick. Have you ever maybe experienced where somebody has stolen your sound or a song that you did, and you're like, yo,
Yeah,
what? Like,
yeah. I've had
and like, how do you handle that?
I've had a lot of questionable experiences for sure. What can I say, man? Like, when it comes down to this music thing, a lot of it is dealing with intellectual property. So, you know, I think sometimes it takes for you to get burnt, for you to learn, or for you to understand the importance of having good legal knowledge or background or representation or whatever the case is. I feel that I've paid my dues. Let's just put it that way. And I've gone down that rabbit hole, and for the better and for the worse, whatever. But it's an experience nonetheless, which I'm grateful for. And nowadays, I would say that I'm better for that, you know, because of these things that have happened in the past or experiences I've gone through, which are perfectly normal situations in the music business. You know, it's just a matter of experience and knowing how to handle that. And I talked about having an entertainment lawyer earlier. You know, when this gentleman, my lawyer, came into play and I started having conversations with him, a lot of these issues were handled, or we were better prepared to handle them in the future. And when we see them again and again, we now have standard protocols and procedures. And you know, once you understand the business and how it works, you understand how to move through them, and also who you decide to make music with and who you don't decide to make music with is very important too, because at the end of the day, you can make music with the hottest producers or hottest artists or hottest marketing team in the world, but if you guys are not on the same page as far as vibe, strategy, releases, who the hell cares? It's like just going to become a headache, because then you end up making something beautiful, something organic, and then a lot of it is dirtied or tainted because of the business side of things. And then it's like sad. It's like, damn, like that was a fire record, or that was a fire relationship that we had. Why you had to do that?
I mean,
or why we have to get to this point, or why are we talking about this when it should just be like this? And it's like, unfortunately, it is what it is. And you gotta have thick skin to be in the music game. The music industry, to me, I've worked in different industries. I've played ball, I've sold payroll, I've done different things. I've been exposed. I like to think I have a good base of business foundation. The music industry, by far, to me, is the most savage-like industry. A lot of it, you're dealing with, like I said, intellectual property that can't be monitored correctly. A lot of it is relationships, politics. You got to move a certain way. It's very cliquey. There's a lot of things and it just takes years of you banging on the door, knocking doors down, and getting your own to like really, you know, push through and understand the business, how to set things up, having your own network of connections, but people that you like to work with, people that work in the same, with the same
like mindset and stuff like that, like
movement, mindset, you know, as you do, because again, you could work with everybody. And you could take a picture with whoever you want. And you could go chase clout as much as you want. But at the end of the day, if the business ain't right, or, you know, something's trying to get released and things happen in that span, then, you know, ultimately it's not worth it. You know, it's better to work with the mid-level artist or the person that you have, you know, that has your back and you have their back, and build with that person. And eventually things happen. That's kind of what me and Popeye, we've done that over years. Like, you know, me and Popeye have been working for 10 plus years, and I promise you, like, I got into the Joel situation because of my grind with Popeye and Popeye's grind to me, and we did that. You know what I'm saying?
And it shows too. I mean, loyalty. I mean, in the music industry, loyalty goes a long way if both parties are loyal, right? Because you also experienced this and have probably seen it happen to others where, you know, one guy's on the come up and he's not there yet, but he's being marketed. A song blew up, whatever, and now they get big headed and it's like they don't know you now. Yeah. It's like, what the heck? And then actually, it's funny because history repeats itself. They never end up making it. You can actually surpass that person if you stay true to what you're doing. But for that moment, they feel like they have power over you. You're like, yo, what? So it's discouraging because as new artists, you know, and you probably have been there where you're trying to collab with somebody. It's like, damn, yo, what happened? What was going on?
I think humility is important. That's why like I keep God in my life first to just, no matter what, like, you know, to just gut check you. Humility is important. Also, though, Brand, when you start to become successful and move up, like you do become busier. Yeah. You do want, you know, to level up. So it's also not bad for you to not be in touch with people the same way as before.
You got to filter.
You got to handle yourself. But you should definitely have like some sort of a loyalty value to the people that helped you get to where you are, for sure. You should know who those people are. A lot of times when you go up, you lose contact or you just got stuff going on and you can't tend to these people the same way. And a lot of people do try to leech onto what you have going on. Yeah. So it's your plate gets fuller. But it's also important for the person who's trying to. It's also like it's full circle. Like it's not my job to bring you up specifically. Mm-hmm. It's my job to put you in position. Yeah. If you put me in a position at one point or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's also your job to make sure that you stay in touch with me the right way. So if I'm contacting somebody who blew up and they're not getting back to me and they didn't respond to my first text or my second text, don't get so emotional about that. Like keep following up. If you see they're in your town, pull up. If you have to buy a VIP ticket to go be next to this person, it costs $400. Do that, bro. Yeah. Go do that and do, you know what I'm saying, and make that link and reconnect and whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people also feel some type of way or get in their feelings when things don't go their way and expect things to happen, and it's also not like that. You know, it's both ways. And loyalty is important. It gets you places, but this is also a business. So if there is politics surrounding certain things, loyalty is important, but things still have to be figured out. Yep. You understand? Regardless. And things and that's where communication comes into play. And sometimes you make certain moves and it's a risky move. Yeah. And you might lose a relationship with, I'm sure you might, you know, in your business, you probably suppliers or clients you work with, you might make a move that might mean it might cost this and this got you here, but if you don't do that, you stay here and you got to do that. Correct. To do that. So it's also like you should work with people that when you do make those moves also aren't overly sensitive and are also looking out for your best interest. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you need people that have your best interest. And when people have your best interest aligned, you can say like, hey, I don't like it, but I understand it. Yeah. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if I have a rich friend and he's already rich and I got to make certain moves to get to be rich, but you blocking me from making rich moves, but you not making me rich. Correct. Yeah. Then you feel me? That don't make sense. And I'm loyal to you, but where's your loyalty to me? Yeah. Correct. So at the end of the day, your matureness and letting that slide is called loyalty too. Yeah. 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 You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of situations like that happen. And a lot of it, what I've realized is time. It has to happen at the right time. And you can't force things on people. No. Sometimes if a project is an amazing project, but it's a dirty project, you got to let that shit breathe. Just let that shit sit, because you never know. If you work hard, I'm a true believer, you just keep working, you keep God in your life first, and the world is going to reward you. And something is going to happen where this person might squash that with that person, or a law changed and now you're able to do this or something like that. Like, I swear to you, things happen. You know what I'm saying? And and then it's like, oh, you had that conversation, so it's all good. It's all good. Let's get it. But if you would have pressed it, you might have lost that opportunity. So sometimes you gotta just, yo, you know what? Let's let this breathe. We put it out there. Let's see how it work out. Let's keep doing this over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we'll circle back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and that's I mean that's the same thing. I mean, like you know, my cousin Stefan, you know, you guys, and this is probably, I don't know if it's maybe easier for you because you're already used to it, but you guys produce songs sometimes that you don't even release for like a year or two sometimes, and to you it's already old, but the sound is new for us. So and because there's times where you've even played songs to me like, yo, check this out. And then by the time you're releasing, like, yo, I heard that last year. It's pretty dope. You know, because it's timing, right? And then maybe the project wasn't ready to be released or whatever the case may be. So how do you deal with that where you know you have something in your pocket, but you can't release that ace yet?
Yeah, it's patience, man. This game, you have to be a patient person. It's very frustrating sometimes when you want to, like, you know, but patience, because what the thing is that if the energy is not right behind the song and everybody isn't really like behind it on the same tip, then the song is not going to perform as well as it should perform. You know, no matter what it is that you have going on it, you know, you need everybody. All hands got to be on deck. So you want to have like good energy from everybody. Everybody got to be on the same page, the same plan. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And if that's not in place and you just want to drop something, a lot of times you might damage a relationship like that. A lot of times you might close the door. Like a lot of these artists that especially bigger artists, they're tied to labels. You know, they're controlled by labels, releases, this and that. So you might want to release something, but if you don't have the same numbers as this artist does, the label's gonna know that, and they're gonna be like, "Why would we collaborate with you? Like, all you're gonna do is drop our algorithm. Like, why would we do that? We don't care you're his best friend. You know, we don't care that you guys make. You know, like, is this for him or you guys collab? Like, how's this? You know, okay, cool. So it's just so many things that happen. The greatest thing is like I just try to get the records done, leave them mixed, leave them mastered, and make sure that they sound timeless, so that no matter what stage they get released, they're still fresh. Because at the end of the day, in our heads, like you said, it might be old, but to the everyday consumer, it's not. Sounds do get dated. So sometimes a project from 3 years ago might have to get retouched. You know, but sometimes you make good music and it is what it is.
Which that's pretty cool. And I remember when we were coming down from Tallahassee, when we did the Cinco de Mayo, you were playing some of the new sounds. And like, as you were playing it, this is my first time hearing it, but you're like, oh, I'm going to touch that up. I'm going to touch this. So it's like you're refining it. It doesn't stop. So it's pretty cool. The fact that, you know.
Well, that's why like now, like I kind of stopped going so deep into beats. Like I kind of go and I'll make a beat, I'll make an idea, and once I have that idea, like it sounds like to a place where it's good, and maybe I spend an hour, 2 hours on it, I move on to the next one because there's a vibe already in it. And it's like if it catches somebody's attention, or artist's attention, whatever it is, the sound or the little thing that I'm so producer picky about is not gonna make or break if it connected with the artist or not. You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So we just keep the vibes going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got one last question, Kelly. You got anything before I go?
No, I think I covered most of mine.
So my last question, and this is a team question, is could you please explain Dímelo Felva? Where did that come from?
The Dímelo Felva? Well, the Dímelo Felva is actually, that is currently what we have as like the handle, the social media handle. It's on my production tagline. When you go hear me DJ, I have a drop from Joel that I took from our song that says Dímelo Felva, so you know I'm spinning. But the Dímelo Felva is really just kind of like, you know, Dímelo, for those that don't speak Spanish, is like what's good. Like what up. So it's like what up, Felva. So when Joel was recording his song with Jamaica, our song Jamaica, and he's at the end just swagging on it like, yo, Popeye caution, Dímelo Felva. It's like, what's good, Felva? The Dímelo is a very used thing in like Spanish, Puerto Rican culture. Like, yo, Dímelo. So it just makes sense to be like Dímelo Felva. So, you know, Felva wasn't available for the handle at the time, and I wanted to make it as unique as possible, so I just went with the Dímelo Felva. And my boy JS also had said something on a song that's like Dímelo Felva, and it sounded good, and I took that and I made that my beat tag. So when you hear a lot of my beats, most of the beats you'll hear the Dímelo Felva, and you know what's about to come. You know the type of auditory experience you're about to have. You know what I'm saying? So, but I have my one tagline for the beats and I one for the DJ sets, two separate. Joel's voice is very prominent and very loud and heavy. He's like, Dímelo Felva. So there's a little much for just like a song that I just want streamed all the time.
Correct, yeah.
So I use that for the clubs because the clubs is like balls to the wall, everyone's lit. And then the other one is more of a chill bounce, so I use that one for my beat tag. The handle right now, we're actually in the process of eliminating that and just going with the Felva situation, because that's ultimately what I would want. And the Dímelo, it just waters down, I feel like, from a brand perspective, my Felva situation, because there's a lot of there's Dímelo Flow, there's Dímelo this, there's Dímelo just like there's Lil Jon, Lil Pump, Lil this, Lil that. It's like a Lil, it's an acronym. I personally just want it to be Felva. The Dímelo Felva will always stay there for my beat tags, and for it'll be more of an auditory thing and more of like if you know, like, oh, Dímelo Felva, whatever. But I don't want the Dímelo to stick with my brand for forever. So I'm still rebranding. Not rebranding, but I'm still working on brand.
You're evolving. You know? Now
so we get that.
I do want to touch upon the beat tag. So I'm not really well versed in this. So maybe explain this for us and everybody that doesn't know. Like one that a lot of people might know is like Mustard, right?
Yeah.
So he's always like Mustard. So every time you hear that, you
Mother
know
on a beat.
that's Mustard. That's his. So that beat tag, that's pretty much.
That's what that is. That's my Dímelo.
You do that on everything that you produce?
For the most part, when I make a beat, I put that there and I send it out. Like the only times that it's not on there is if the artist that's purchasing the beat
they'll say to take it off.
Specifically request to take it off, and if we come to agreement that's the vibe.
Yeah.
But like for me, when I produce something, that's there. Beat tags have become very overused over time, and like some people have beat tags that are just does sound very internet type-ish. And so a lot of artists don't like that because they feel like the record sounds diluted, sounds like I got this beat from YouTube. And sometimes there's situations where the beat tag is so fire that like people want that tag because it's like, damn, you know. So my boy Izzy has a really good one. Yo, Izzy, are you kidding me? And then it like drops and it's like it sounds cool, you know. And it's like, so I think for like producers that over time have proven their beat tag with their hits or their songs. In my case, I like to think that the beat tag is solidified at this point. It's cool, you know. But early on in my career, when I was a no-name producer, let's say, or an up-and-coming producer, and I collaborated especially with bigger artists, they would try to be like, yo, take the tag out, take the tag out. You know, take the tag out. And sometimes it's like a discussion, like, do you think it needs it, or do you think it's an ego thing? For me personally, I think it's like it's nice to stamp something you created. It's like when Picasso makes a art piece, he signs it Picasso. For us, it's an auditory thing, so it's a beat tag. So I don't ever knock it, but don't just put a beat tag on it to put a beat. Work on your beat tag. Make sure it sounds fire. Like I try really hard for my beat tag to be very unique and for it not to water down or sound like an internet thing. You know what I'm saying? To sound very me. And you know, it was on the Yailin record. It was on the Busta record. The Busta record, for instance, the beat tag is in the back of the song versus the front. And I just felt that it didn't work at the beginning. Like sometimes I really listen to it and I'm like, damn, this sounds so clean at the front. Like, let me not force myself on this, you know? And so I put it in the back and it worked out. I didn't have no issue with it. You know what I'm saying? That was a way you find this, had Busta Rhymes and Ding Dong, two heavyweights on it. So I wanted to be all about them at that point, you know? But yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, the beat tag is there for me and some people use it. If you have a whack beat tag, work on it, you know, make sure it doesn't sound internet based or whatever. And or don't put it. Some people don't put it. Some people are like, I don't even want that. I just want my, and that's fine too. Again, whatever works for you. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever works for you, because you get these topics and the producer community goes crazy. You know, it's like, you use Splice. Oh, you have a producer tag. It's like, bro,
Yep.
Life is bigger. I'm trying to just get my music out, buy my mom a crib, and just So whatever works for you, really. I'm pro whatever works for you.
And then just real quick, what color you going with next on the head?
On the head, right now we got the blonde. As I get older, I get the white hairs.
As some of you guys don't know, there was a time where you were doing like, I think blue, right?
I've done blue. I've done pink. I've done blue, pink together. I did the stripe for a minute. The stripe was cool. The Miami Vice stripe. I always mess with my hair. I've been messing with my hair for like 6-7 years now, and I think I got to start to be careful because over time, just chemicals on your hair, it throws you off, but also, the music game could be very stressful, and I've been through some very stressful times, and I think like in the last 2 years, when my hair's not bleached, I got my canas for sure. You see, and sometimes I like that look. Sometimes I leave it and I let my hair breathe.
Yeah.
But I like to keep my brand fun and young, and so, for special situations, I might throw a little color on it. Right now it's just blonde. I'm chilling like this.
That's it.
And that's it, I'll keep it black for a little bit, but usually when it's like special events, Miami Music Week, or I have a big show, I turn up. You know what I'm saying? I turn up. I turn 100%. Up. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming for an Unfiltered episode here with us. I think we got a lot of knowledge from behind the scenes. I think, if anything, we went a little too deep to the point where you guys, you're welcome, all right? Don't ever say I did nothing for you, especially producers, DJs that are starting out and things like that. I mean, listen, a lot of gems have been dropped in this one. So, anything, feel free to reach out. Felva on the socials, D-Miller Felva. Yeah. You can type in Felva, you can type in D-Miller Felva, it'll pop up.
You'll find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Spotify, all that good stuff, Apple Music, everything. So, definitely check his projects and his own songs that he has out as well. So listen, brother, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, Unfiltered. I appreciate you having me. Kayla, right?
Yes.
Kayla, appreciate y'all having me. Tap in with me. Felva on the check-in, the neighborhood friendly producer, DJ homie, and yeah, it's been nothing but love. Keep God first and chase your dreams. Go after it. You know what I'm saying? Don't quit and use whatever tools you have available to you around you, man. Like, use your resources, get your team together, get right. Make money. It takes money to make money. Make money, grind, you know what I'm saying? And travel and live life, man. Yep. That's what I have, you know what I'm saying?
100%. It's a wrap.